sweeties, how are you doing? Welcome to Cimnanya on I and Sim. If this is your first time of coming across this channel, sweetheart, kindly smash that subscribe button and turn your notifications so you are notified each time I upload. And please give this video a thumb up. I appreciate you all so much, and I'm saying a very big shout out to every one of you for the support you all showing me here with. I am grateful. So I saw this video and I am kind of like, asking, how did Black people get into this? Because to my knowledge, Black people are not the ones fighting. Black people are not the ones like doing everything going on in Israel, Hamas, and Palestine. The only thing Black people are doing is that they are rendering their voice. Why are the oppressors oppressing Palestinians, right? And just to my greatest surprise, I woke up to see from Black Lives Matter to terrorist lives matter. And I am asking, what is the connection between Black people and this? Like Black Lives Matters and terrorist lives matter. Like, what is the relationship? Now, they are tagging Black people like this because they are rendering their voices to Palestine. I mean, this really shocked. I am in shock because this is to tell you that these people can go any length to make sure that you all do not have peace. Let's get into this video.
This cartoon was in the New York Times this week. Now, the artist is Michael Ramirez. The website's right there. Also, this is from Ramirez Tunes on Twitter. But yeah, basically, they just want to show like we never fucked with Black people in the first place, so you're not our side. We're just gonna completely just use your cause as literal like hate speech through art. Like, and the fact that New York Times put this out, it's like, okay, this is who you choose to platform. Like, we already knew y'all were racist, but now you're just not afraid to show it. Like, y'all realize when this is all over, when Palestine's free, we're going to come back and get your ass, right? Anyway, if y'all want to go to either website or account, there it is right there. Times this week.
You know, I remember learning about the different branches of government. And I remember hearing about checks and balances. I remember learning about freedom of the press. And I remember, like, the executive branch, judicial, and legislative, right? Legislative was Congress, House of Representatives, right? And then the executive branch was the president, judicial branch was the Supreme Court, and they all kept each other in check. And then the press kept all three of them in check. And to be a journalist, you had to have integrity. You had to always be aligned with the truth, even if you didn't like what that was. Now our Supreme Court is bought and paid for. Our president is strung out on something, I don't know what. And most of the people in the legislative branch right now are making bank in the stock market, cleaning up on their own decisions they're making in their different departments. Meanwhile, over 10,000 Palestinians, 4,000 which are children, are wiped off the planet. And the New York Times, known for the Pentagon Papers and exposing what was really happening in Vietnam, has turned into this. People who studied journalism, went to college, wrote their asses off, dreamed of having a job that they could be proud of. And then they find themselves here, allegedly working for one of the most prestigious papers to have ever been written. Now they're like the court jester, just entertaining the 1%. Brothers and sisters, I don't know what this world is coming to.
This cartoon was in the New York Times. This cartoon was in the New York Times this week.
Of course it was. That's what they've always thought of us when we fight for our liberation and rights. And now that this situation is happening internationally and Black Lives Matter is not loud enough about a group of people, and they think we should take one side of that thing and not talk about the death, destruction, colonization of anyone, that to do so is to be in alignment with terrorists, that proves the point that they thought in the beginning. This whole last racial upheaval has only been because white men were unable to protect their financial bottom lines because so many people were in alignment with black people. And they're going to take this opportunity to disalign people with black people so they can go back to business as usual. You know, MAGA and all that. They've always thought that, especially the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal and many other periodicals, and in some of these liberal rags as well. It's not going to change anytime soon.
My question is, how did we get into this? What could we have possibly done in this situation to deserve this? And by we, I do mean black people. This don't have nothing to do with nothing with Black Lives Matter, black people, nothing. But yet, Black Lives Matter is what you put on a shirt for what? Why? What did we do? This is not relating to black people on either sides of the situation. How did we get into this? It's like, y'all will always find a way to blame black people. Always. But you know what? I just thought about it. I completely understand why black people got into this. It's because y'all dehumanize black people so much that when it comes to dehumanizing people of other ethnicities, you automatically add them to blackness. That's what it is. Because, seriously, girl, what could we have possibly done in this situation to deserve this?
Ooh, I know. We clocked their lives before they were able to set foot in the door. We could tell this whole situation wasn't passing the sniff test. We vocalized solidarity with Palestinians, which helped amplify their voices in the West, which then had us discussing and educating each other on some things that they did not want us talking about, which then caused enough public dismay and outrage that it's actually messing with their bag, which is basically the whole reason they're doing this. But even worse than messing with their bag is the fact that Americans are waking up to who the real threat is. They are mad at us, y'all.
So this is for educational purposes only. The question says, why do black people hate white people so much? It goes both ways. Let's talk about it. Let me tell you why it doesn't work both ways. Never has there been a time in the United States in which black people had structural power and the ability to weaponize that power to discriminate and hate against white people. However, there was a period of time, a long period of time in the United States in which white people hated black people for nothing other than their race and had the power to do something about it. White pride is rooted in white supremacy and was birthed out of a place of exerting power and control over other demographics of people. Black pride, on the other hand, was rooted in surviving oppression. Black pride was the conscious collective effort of a community to stop the erasure of culture and history. Any hatred, vitriol, and distrust by black people for white people is a natural byproduct of years of systemic oppression in the United States. The pathway forward to building that bridge and regaining that trust is for white people to not only acknowledge the egregious acts that the United States government committed against black Americans, not only acknowledge the wrongdoing of our ancestors. Most white people have done that part. They're starting to acknowledge history, but it stops there. They will say that's a long time ago, this is now. The problem is today, white people are still feigning ignorance and they're not actively working to stand in solidarity and dismantle the tools of oppression that are still in place today. Most white people, particularly white people on the right, will tell you that systemic racism does not exist today. In spite of the mounting evidence and data, right now in our country, there is this yearning for this kumbaya, can't we all just get along? The problem with that line of thinking is that it's very superficial, it's surface level. In a perfect world, we just say, stop the hate, end racism, everybody get along, and voila, everything will be back to normal. The reason why that never works is because there is something much larger and nefarious at play that profits off of our division. Till we, and when I say we, I mean particularly white people, because black people have been screaming this for years, until we address the institutions and systems that are perpetuating this racism, we will never affect change. You know, there was a time when I used to hear black people say, screw them saltines, I'll say it mildly, but I used to get so mad until I understood the root cause of black pain and black anger in this country. It wasn't until I got educated, I deconstructed and re-educated myself, that my whole worldview and perspective changed. I will never say any form of hatred or bigotry is okay. But if I see hatred coming from a marginalized community, from a group of people that have historically been oppressed, I will try to understand and empathize where that hatred is coming from and do the work to do what I can to de-escalate and defuse that hatred and turn it into love. But that takes a whole lot of work in earning trust, and I don't know what length people who look like me are willing to go.
I need to say something about Black Lives Matters. Black Lives Matters, they changed the profile picture to this. To free Palestine. Free my ass, honey. And not just free Palestine. You remember that picture? This is how the terrorists is get inside to the party in Nova. And I hear a black man in protest in the Free Palestine that he said that he's so happy that the murder of the Jewish. Oh my God, honey, you forget your history? Like, what's wrong with you? You forget the chase on you because you are a black? You forget that your people is murdered because you are a black? You forget that you was a slave because you are a black? And you happy of the murders of the Jewish? Honey, you remember that man? You know who is it, right? You know him. It's Martin Luther King. He fight for black people rights. And you know who fight for them? His best friend, Israel Dresner. He was a Jewish. Yes, he was a Jewish. So before you scream, Black Lives Matter, all life is matter, including the Jewish. You are grateful ass.
This is all I got from this video, and I think the last woman should just go back and take her medication. It looks like she missed her medication, like, you know. Now let me say this. I know that whatever that is going on, some people said it is not black fight or it is not black people's this and all that. But I know black people will not sit back and watch genocide happen and not speak on it, even when it is not their own fight. But they are actually out here, I mean, still putting up their voices out there. I mean, the way black people actually came through for people, the reality is that people don't come through for them like they do for other people, but this is who they are. And I don't care what anybody say or something. Black people are the backbone. When I say backbone of every whole thing or every other person that needs support. And they are mad, the Jewish or the whoever are mad that black people are not in their support, of which they all wanted black people to support them. But how do you look at what is going on and support the oppressors? I mean, it is not worth it. Number one is that they already know that black people are out there speaking their truth and saying it the way it is. And they are so threatened. Why are they threatened that black people are speaking the truth? Why are they so worried? Why are they so scared? How do you want black people to join your fight when your fight is also against black people? You all know the oppressors have something in common. So all they could do is when they find out that black people are not part of the whole thing, black people do not want to join them, they decided to come up with the All Lives Matters, like to say it is terrorist. How did All Life Matters become a terrorist group? Because I do not see the relationship. So they are saying that terrorist lives matters because black people are supporting Palestine. So now Palestinians are the terrorists, and they are the good ones. I don't know if you all are getting this. I mean, it's really so sick that you all can do it, like they can go any length, you know, to prove, like, when you are good, when you are doing the right thing, you do not have to prove something to anybody. Everybody will say it to be glaring. But now you all are in the wrong side of history and looking for people. Why are you looking for people to support you? And then it went from All Life Matters to terrorist lives matters. I mean, you all really have a very long thing to, like, a very long way to go on the judgment day. I don't know where you all are gonna sit, if there is anything like judgment day, but it is all you people's world. Go rolling. I mean, this is just all I have to say, because, like, what in the nonsense is this? How did they even drag black people into this? Because this is not, I don't know how. Black people are not the ones fighting. Black people are not the ones. They are, the only thing they are doing is that they are using their voices. Then how did it get to this? See you all in my next video. Bye for now.